All right, let's get into the history of Jumanji, which all begins in 1981 with the illustrated children's book Jumanji by Chris Van Allsburg, he of the Polar Express fame. I have read this book. I don't remember it well. I don't think it has much in common with the Robin Williams movie. Basically just takes its idea. It's like, it's a game, but stuff will come out. Oh.
That stuff comes out of the things that are real.
Yeah.
It's like Night in the Museum, which I've never seen.
Also never seen that.
Feels the same to me.
So the Robin Williams movie, directed by Johnston, came out December 1995. It was the 10th highest grossing movie of 1995. We reviewed this movie on the podcast years ago. It was more overtly a kid's movie, very different in tone. As Lacey and I said, it was very like we looked at it as a very sad movie, almost a cursed object. Like, don't watch Jumanji. That'll make you too sad.
In fact, point to the person who tells you that this is their favorite childhood movie, and I don't want to hang out with them. What the fuck is that person?
But I know those people are out there.
Of course they are, but like they must be deeply. They're going through something. They're processing something.
All the quotes I have from the people involved in making this movie from before the movie came out were like, well, obviously the 1995 movie is a classic. It's untouchable. How do you even attempt to make a sequel or enter that world, that classic world? I kept thinking, what? Really?
It's just Robin Williams, pedestal stuff. That's
I guess so. So I'm getting some of my history from Anthony D'Alessandro's article from 2017 in Deadline about how this sequel finally came out because it took forever to get a sequel, but Sony had always wanted a sequel to this very big movie, but it took a while. And so in the 90s, there was an animated series, ran for 3 seasons on UPN.
Damn.
40 total episodes, though.
Wow.
But with kids' TV, you either got the standard 52 or 65 episode order. If you get less than that, it means you're not the hit they want.
It sounds like a lot, but it looks like shit.
Well, character designs by Everett Peck, the legend, Duckman's own.
All right.
Okay. Voices by Tim Curry. William Sanderson, E.B. Farnham himself. Charles Napier. How about that?
Okay. Keep going.
I can't wait I'm going to check this out.
Great.
And I'll let you know what's going on with it. Okay. But Chris Van Allsburg wrote a children's book that was an official sequel called Zathura in 2002, in which some kids get sick of playing Jumanji and they play Zathura instead, and it sends their house into outer space.
I remember you reviewing this on our Jumanji episode. I was like, why does this terrible looking stuff look familiar? And now I know why.
But we watched it with our kid at the time and we liked it. It was a fun little kids movie.
All right.
Directed by Jon Favreau, whose follow-up to Elf. Big follow-up to Elf. Lacey is unmoved by any of this information.
I believe you. If I liked it, I liked it.
Sony apparently marketed this movie as a sequel to Jumanji, but there's no mention of Jumanji in the movie at all. They were just like,
weird.
It's Jumanji 2, Zathura, but there's nothing about Jumanji in the movie. And it flopped. Has a very young Josh Hutcherson in it and a pre-Twilight Kristen Stewart. So it's an okay movie. It flopped. It did not do well. All right. As all of this is happening, you have the starts and stops of the Jumanji sequel, and a script gets written and developed in the late 90s, which involves the president of the United States getting sucked into the Jumanji board game, and then his evil vice president takes over for him while he has to battle like animals in the game, the board game world. Okay. This never went into production, and so they just brought in like all the classic rewrite guys, including Chris Van Allsburg himself. Sony really wanted to bring Robin Williams back, but they were unable to get him, so they decided to make Zathura instead. Robin Williams died in August of 2014, and then 1 year later, August of 2015, Sony officially announces a sequel, and then gets a ton of backlash. The actor Bradley Pierce, who played the main kid from the first movie, said it was like an insult to Robin Williams' memory. There was a lot of this, and I kind of remember it.
That's just it. I mean, it's just... He's got a lot of movies, a ton of movies that are like untouchable classics. I think you can let go of one without being a slap in the face.
This new movie was such a hit right away that it has just vacuumed up any of this. Like, and in fact, when people talk about the Jumanji movies, they usually say the first one or the second one, and they mean this one and the sequel. Like
this one has a sequel?
Yeah, which you have seen, yes, with Danny DeVito and Danny Glover. One of them plays like a horse.
What you're talking about?
No, we watched it. We saw it.
Okay.
Yeah. This started with an idea by Chris McKenna. He is from the extended Dan Harmon community universe that like runs Hollywood now. All the community actors, all the Rick and Morty or writers, they all get to write all the big movies. So this guy wrote for Community, wrote for American Dad, wrote the Lego Batman movie. He writes all of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. He said, here's my idea of video game, not board game. And they're like, we love it. So that was the big innovation. The Rock gets announced to lead the cast in April of 2016. And he, with his, very prolific Instagram, he probably pays 45 people to be his Instagram team, is big about saying this is a sequel, not a reboot. We're not rebooting it. Production began in Hawaii in the summer of 2016 on Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. To direct, they get Jake Kasdan. Jake Kasdan directed Orange County. Did you ever see that movie?
God, that looks familiar, but I can't. It was Jack Black?
Jack Black and Colin Hanks. And it was like, he has to get into it. I watched this movie a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's something
I think
about
I've seen it.
Got to do some fraud to get into college. Or
yeah.
maybe,
Yeah, I've seen it.
I was thinking we might cover it one day just because it was sort of a movie of mine back then. But obviously both of these actors are also in Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. But his best known movie is Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. He directed the Cameron Diaz movies, Bad Teacher and Sex Tape, and then got the Jumanji movie. He said, quote, at the time in 2017, quote, Jumanji is the kind of movie that I think people shouldn't out and out remake. To me, a big part of its power is in the unique elements of its execution. Within that, I think there's this central idea in mythology that's mysterious but powerful and commands a powerful part of the imagination, the director said, end quote. Wow, what absolute drivel. Okay.
I mean, all he's really saying is it does not make sense that people are getting sucked into a video game. We're not going to bother explaining it at all. This is a way more try-hard thing than the board game comes to life. Accept it.
We are talking about the power of imagination and the imaginative power of creativity.
It up. I mean, you do have to skip over that part. You do have to just like let your brain go, oh, fuck it, they're in the game. Whatever.
Oh, sure.
It's very stupid.
And I like how fast they get to it.
Yes. I like how they get slapped right back out of there, too. And then it's like,
yeah,
modern day.
Yeah, the running time is very generous with this movie. The sequence that opens, I feel like for some reason, if this movie came out in 2025, you'd spend 25 minutes with the first kid. Like his dad finds it on the beach. There'd be 10 minutes of him running on the beach.
The literal first kid. Okay.
And then he plays and he's like, I like Black Sabbath instead of this. And then, 30 more minutes of that. And then he's like, maybe I'll check this video game out. I don't know. They go so fast. The movie trucks along. So Jake Kasdan, his dad is Lawrence Kasdan, screenwriter of Raiders of the Lost Ark and Empire Strikes Back. Everybody's dad is fucking somebody. But it's the thing, again.
Probably that guy's mom.
Again, Hollywood's MO, which the Fantastic Four movie that just came out is the same thing. You get a TV director or a comedy director and tell them your job is not to do the action. Your job is not to make this movie look like anything. Your job is just make the actors seem like they like each other. And that's what he does. And he does it very, very good. And there's a lighthearted, comedic atmosphere here, really easygoing. The cast has great chemistry. It just doesn't mesh well at all with the adventure spectacle that this should be.
Well, and the villain is so flat in this. I'm not scared of him at all. He seems like he's from a completely different movie. There's hardly any interaction between him and our heroes. The bad guys have a face, and there's two main bad guys, but you don't ever see them doing any of the action. Or there's no connection. It's just it feels like you're watching a video game in the worst way. It just faces. Now, no face, motorcycle guy. Now, bad guy.
But
He's gone now.
Video games have great villains.
Yes, but not this. Yes, but this age of video game, it was more disjointed because, cutscenes or when you're not going to see any up close anything of a bad guy because they're just pixels on the screen and you're fighting them. It feels choppy like that. Look at The Last of Us. Obviously, there's an amazing plot in video games now. I just mean, if we're talking about 90s video game.
There are lots of great villains that I remember.
Well, okay, Jack Black, hello, Bowser. I got you. I know that, but you have to make it that.
Yeah.
And the story has to be written that way. I'm just saying this might just be a bad game. Because he feels like it's telling me the story of a bad game.
Okay, yes, I agree.
Overly simple, not enough. This wouldn't be a game. It certainly wouldn't have its own freaking controllers attached to the console as though there's like endless playtime, like freaking Pong, which there was. You just keep playing Pong. This one, you solve 5 riddles or whatever, and then you're done. You would throw the whole console away. It's stupid.
Well, it is a board game that turned itself into a video game.
Also
so maybe
stupid.
That's why. Because it sat on top of another like a PlayStation console and was like, say,
I didn't even notice that.
I got an idea. That's how it happens.
I thought it was taken from the fucking beach and then embarrassed to find itself in a cool guy's room and went, just kidding, I'm a video game.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Both of those things.
It's all dumb. How did it end up in the basement of the of the high school? Like, that's where, I mean, it zips by those parts because it's like, we just want to get to the jungle, right?
Right, exactly.
Oh, this is a Sony movie, Matt? I had no idea. So for every time a Sony product was on the screen, you're like, Sony phone,
yeah,
Sony.
I guess because most of the movie's going to take place in a world without gadgets, they have to really, really front load it with Sony products at the beginning of the movie. Everybody's using a Sony phone. Love those Sony phones. But it's even in like every poster in their rooms is for a Sony product. There's even a poster of Pink Floyd's album, The Division Bell, from 1994, which was released by Sony Music Group. So it's like, if something's on screen, it has to be Sony.
Yeah, I don't think this is we need a Sony thing in every spot here. I think this is we cannot have a Google or Apple thing ever. So we will fill those moments with a Sony thing.
No, he uses an Apple computer. He uses a Mac. That's right. But Sony doesn't have computers.
Oh, well then that's all. Okay.
Does it? Because I thought, wait a minute, it's an Apple computer. But wait, yeah, I guess Sony doesn't.
It's just a
they make
competitor
monitors, but they don't make computers. Huh. Anyway, this movie was an enormous hit. Almost $1 billion. At the time, it was the biggest movie the studio had ever had. It was bigger than Spider-Man.
Whoa.
And the studio was desperate for a sequel, for a franchise, because franchises are everything today, but back then it was even more the case. Like, if you don't have a franchise, you're nothing. And Sony has been like,
new sound unlocked. That's a different piece of equipment.
Sony has been in desperate search of their own franchise. They have like co-custody of the James Bond franchise and co-custody of Spider-Man, but this is their own total thing. And then they come out with a sequel 2 years later, and it also does great. But why no sequel after that?
Okay, that was my question. Do you have a franchise if you've only made 2 movies? Is that really
what anyone's... also have the one from the 90s, and you also have Zathura.
Well, that wasn't theirs.
Yeah.
You said Spider-Man's just as much theirs than if they're going to count the ones before.
I meant the the studio, but no.
Own its property completely.
Yeah,
I got you.
So what a question. If there's only 2 movies, is it a franchise?
Listeners, we're asking you. We found our bonus question, baby.
I think franchise. Okay.
I see. Maybe it had the hopes for more, and that's how you call it a franchise.
Certainly. But I think the reason you say franchise and not series is because franchise implies ancillary, like tie-in products and video games and TV streaming
Figures.
Series and all kinds of other shit. And yeah, I'm sure this movie moved tons of merch.
All right. Well, then the Mario movies are a franchise as well because they're all merch. They're all Legos.
Sure.
They're barely a movie. There's so much Lego.
So,
dude, I think Captain Seaplane is here with his double decker. What do you call it? What do you call an airplane? With his 2-engine. What do you call an airplane?
What?
His
What do you call an airplane?
Biplane?
A biplane?
There's something with 2. It's double decker. It's dual engine. It's a biplane.
I don't know what you're saying.
It's a biplane.
Oh, yeah, I said biplane.
I just meant there was a 2 in there.
All right.
Double.
Good job.
Bi. You don't understand me.
The sequel 2 years later also makes a lot of money. You would think, okay, we're going to get a Jumanji movie every 2 years. Why did they stop? Well, COVID obviously happened, but I can't find a good answer for why this hasn't happened. I mean, The Rock certainly needs a hit, but they announced a Jumanji 3 in October of last year. With the full cast and crew returning.
Wouldn't, though, the actress involved in the Guardian movies have been really busy right through the stretch? I feel like they were making one like every 2 years, it seemed like.
There was only one other Guardians movie. She only appeared in one other Marvel movie after Jumanji 2.
There aren't 3 Guardians of the Galaxy?
There are, but the 2014, 2017, and then 2023. Oh. And then she's in Avengers,
that's why.
Infinity War, and Endgame, but those are pre.
I don't know why. I just felt like they were guardianing it up. over and over.
These are all actors in high demand, certainly.
Yeah.
And Jake Kasdan directed The Rock's movie Red One, his like Christmas Santa badass movie
Giant
that everyone
flop.
hated, and it's unclear is this in actual production. They put out a poster at CinemaCon this year that was just the logo saying Jumanji, Christmas 2026. No title.
I mean, they're all still around. Why not?
They're all attached, but is this actually going to happen?
Can you please show me a poster for this Jumanji 2 you're pretending exists? Someone's a horse? Wait, so The Rock's in it. Okay, all 4 of them are in it. I thought it was just the horse you're talking about. Like it was just a horse and some guy.
No, all of them come back plus 2 new. They're like 2 of their grandfathers who are like have an old feud, okay. And then they don't all get put back in their like.
They get shuffled?
Spencer does, yeah, they get shuffled, but then eventually get back to the configuration we know. And so like Kevin Hart is doing like a Danny DeVito impression or something.
Oh, okay.
It's not as good as the.
Okay, but we liked it. Oh, you know why? There's snow. It can go fuck itself. You know how I don't like that. Sand and snow? Truly get fucked.
I guess how I want to take us out of this history segment is when every single studio which owns all this IP and they're like, we have got to find a way to use our I Know What You Did Last Summer, a brand asset to get some new money. Like Jumanji is what is like the height of what you're hoping to happen. Because it's like that 90s movie that was really sad. You're going to bring a movie back 25 years later and it's going to make $1 billion and people love it and everyone's going to love it and it's going to make so much money. Like that's what they're always, when there's the LeBron James Space Jam movie happens because people are nostalgic for the 90s. Like that's what this movie might be why. It's like, well, it worked for Jumanji. It might work for us.
Okay.
Yes.
So we should blame it.
We
for
should blame
some things.
Curse it.
Okay.
All right. Jumanji.